My wife stole my garage and left me with nothing. While she destroyed the business, I built a world-class reputation, and now she wants me back. The shop didn't smell like a business. It smelled of heavy oil, cold steel, and the ozone tang of a welder. It was late afternoon on a Tuesday. The sun cut through the high industrial windows, illuminating millions of dollars in vintage metal. In the center of that light stood the English wheel. Arthur Vance, known simply as Art, stood at the wheel. He was 55. His face was lined by decades of concentration. He held a sheet of aluminum, pushing it back and forth. The rhythmic thrum of metal against steel filled the room. He was shaping a fender for a 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO owned by Marcus Sterling, Art's biggest client. "It's good, Dad," Ben said. Art looked up. His 19-year-old son, Ben, stood by the workbench. He had been there for 3 hours, handing Art tools before he even asked for them. "It's close," Art corrected, "but the edge needs to roll tighter." The door to the office banged open. Kyle walked out first. 23. He wore a tight blue shirt and clean pants. He held a tablet like a shield. Linda followed him. She wrapped her beige cardigan tight around her chest. She was finishing a call on her phone. "I know. I'm handling it," she whispered, smiling at the screen before sliding it into her pocket. She looked at the shop floor with disdain. "You bought it," Linda said. "The bank notification just hit. $10,000, Art, for a piece of cast iron." "It's an English wheel, Linda," Art said. "I need it for Sterling's GTO." "Marcus is worried about the timeline," Linda snapped. "He thinks you're obsessing over details that don't matter." Art paused. "Since when do you talk to the client about my tooling?" "Marcus isn't just a client, Art. He's a businessman. He's buying a 50-foot boat next week. Meanwhile, I'm here arguing about a piece of iron so you can smooth out a fender for a car we'll never own." Kyle stepped forward. "Dad, Marcus is right. The ROI on this tool is negative. We're barely making minimum wage." Art wiped his hands. "We are building reputation." "Reputation doesn't pay the mortgage," Linda said. Her phone buzzed. She checked it, smiled, and turned away. "I'm going to dinner. Don't wait up." "With who?" Art asked. "Investors," she said. Ben moved then. He stepped closer to his father. It was a silent line drawn in the sand. "The tool stays," Art said. Linda didn't turn around. "Okay, Art. Do the job. Make it perfect. That's all you care about anyway." She walked out. Kyle lingered, looking at the Ferrari with envy. "Dead capital," he muttered. 3 months passed. The investor dinners became frequent. Linda stopped complaining about money because she stopped caring about the shop. The end came while Art was under a Jaguar E-Type. He heard a luxury car door close. He slid out to see a process server. "Arthur Vance, you've been served." Art stood up and walked to the driveway. He saw Marcus Sterling's black Range Rover idling at the curb. Marcus sat behind the wheel in a linen suit. Linda got out of the passenger seat. She looked like a woman dropped off from a date. She walked past Art, eyes on the ground, and went straight into the house. Marcus rolled down the window. "You need to vacate the premises," Marcus said. "Linda feels unsafe with your temper." Art looked at the man in the SUV. The pieces clicked. Unsafe? Or just inconvenient? Marcus smiled. "It was cold. Does it matter? You have 2 hours. Kyle is inside helping Linda. Sarah is in her room. She's distressed and doesn't want to see you." The legal proceedings were a slaughter. Kyle cooked the books to prove insolvency. Sarah, terrified, parroted lies about Art's anger. The judge ruled. Linda kept the house and the business. Art got a small buyout. However, the judge added, "You are ordered to pay monthly child support of $1,200 until Sarah Vance reaches the age of 18. That is a term of 2 years." It was November when Art drove his rusted Ford van to the shop to collect his tools. Kyle stood by the Ferrari. "Marcus found a buyer for the land," Kyle said, "but we're going to finish the car first." Art packed his wrenches in silence. He was homeless, unemployed, and owed money to the woman sleeping with his client. "I need a lead mechanic," Kyle said. "Marcus says we can offer you $25 an hour." Art stopped. "Don't touch the aluminum, Kyle. You have acidic hands." Ben walked in, carrying his toolbox. He ignored his brother. "What are you doing?" Kyle asked. "Ben, you're the foreman." "You stole the shop," Ben said. He looked at Art. "I'm ready." The first year was a study in contrasts. Art and Ben lived in a metal storage unit. sleeping on air mattresses and eating ramen. They worked in the mud and the rain, changing alternators for $60 to pay the court. It was physical misery. But inside the big house, the misery was different. It was quiet. It was expensive. And it was rotting. Linda had what she wanted. Art was gone. The house was renovated with Marcus's money, marble floors, white leather furniture. She spent her days waiting. She sat in the living room at 7 p.m. She was dressed in a black cocktail dress. A bottle of expensive red wine was open on the table. She checked her phone. Meeting ran late. Can't make it. She poured a glass. She drank it. She poured another. She checked his Instagram. He wasn't in a meeting. He was tagged a photo at a club downtown. A young woman, maybe 25, was whispering in his ear. The woman was an interior designer Marcus had hired for the new condos. Linda zoomed in on the photo. She touched her own face, feeling the lines around her eyes. She drank the rest of the glass. She didn't call him. She couldn't. She wasn't his wife. She was just the woman who was available. She was the sure thing. And Marcus Sterling didn't value sure things. In the office, Kyle was drowning. He sat at Art's old desk. It was covered in spreadsheets. The shop was busy, but the margins were wrong. The new mechanics were slow. They broke parts. Kyle rubbed his temples. He was 24, but his hair was thinning. He wanted to be the CEO, the man in the suit. But he was just a kid pretending. Kyle, a voice said. He looked up. Sarah stood there. She was 17. She held a college application. I need you to sign this, Sarah said, for the Guardian section. I'm busy, Sarah, Kyle snapped. Can't you see the red ink? We're bleeding on the Jaguar job. Mama's drunk, Sarah said flatly. She's crying in the living room again. So go talk to her, Kyle said, typing furiously. She doesn't want to talk to me. She wants Marcus. And Marcus isn't here. Kyle threw a credit card across the desk. It hit Sarah's chest and fell to the floor. Go buy something, Kyle said. Go to the mall. Just stop bothering me with this domestic drama. I'm trying to save our lives here. Sarah picked up the card. It was the heavy metal kind. It had a $50,000 limit. She looked at it, then at her brother. We have so much money, Sarah whispered. Why is it so quiet in this house? Get out, Sarah. Sarah went to the mall. She bought clothes she didn't like. She bought jewelry she wouldn't wear. She sat in the food court alone, eating a pretzel, watching families walk by. She checked her phone. She hovered her thumb over Art's name in her contact list. She remembered the smell of the old shop, the way Art would order pizza on Friday nights, the way Ben used to let her sit in the cars. She looked at the credit card in her hand. It felt cold. She didn't call. 3 years passed. Art and Ben, through obsession and grit, climbed out of the mud. A wealthy client, Mr. Henderson, discovered them. He recognized Art's touch on an engine. He wrote a check that got them an apartment. He told his friends. Call the Ghost. He told the country club. Vance Concierge. They don't have a shop. They come to you. Art and Ben traveled to London, Dubai, Tokyo. They fixed cars worth millions in pristine garages. They reinvested everything into tools. They became legends in the whisper network of the ultra-rich. Back at the house, the silence got louder. Marcus Sterling stopped coming over on weekends. Then he stopped coming over on weeknights. Linda was 48 now. She spent thousands on treatments, Botox, fillers, trainers. She was trying to freeze time. She was waiting for the ring. She told her friends it was coming. Marcus is just busy with the merger, she said. We're looking at dates for the spring. Then came the invitation. It wasn't for her. It was on social media. A massive engagement party in St. Tropez. Marcus Sterling was smiling. He looked tanned and happy. Holding his arm was a girl named Chloe. She was 24. She was a yoga instructor. The caption read, she said yes. # new chapter. Linda dropped her phone. It cracked on the marble floor Marcus had paid for. She drove to his office. She pushed past the secretary. Marcus was packing a bag. You're marrying her? Linda screamed. I gave up everything for you. I kicked my husband out of his own house. I destroyed my family. Marcus didn't even look up. He folded a silk shirt. You didn't do that for me, Linda. You did that because you wanted the lifestyle. And I gave it to you. You have the house. You have the car. You have the allowance. I want you, she sobbed. Marcus stopped. He looked at her with a pity that was worse than hate. Linda, look at yourself. You're desperate. It's unappealing. Chloe is fresh. She's uncomplicated. You come with too much baggage. He zipped the bag. The allowance stops next month, Marcus said. I'm married now. I can't be supporting a mistress. It wouldn't be respectful to Chloe. He walked out. Linda stood in the office, totally alone. Chapter 5. The snap. The money stopped. The investors vanished. The reality crashed down on Kyle. The business was insolvent. Linda's spending had drained the accounts. Kyle's mismanagement had driven away the clients. Marcus called Kyle. I need cash. Liquidate the Ferrari GTO. Now. It's not done, Kyle stammered. We lost the original connecting rod bolts. We're waiting on Italy. I don't care, Marcus said. Fix it. Sell it. Or I foreclose on the land. Kyle was panicked. He grabbed Gary, the cheap mechanic he'd hired to replace Ben. Just get it running, Kyle ordered. Gary searched the bin. He found a set of standard grade 5 bolts from the hardware store. They fit the thread, but they weren't heat-treated for a racing engine. Torque them down, Kyle said. Gary torqued them. They looked fine. They shipped the car to the auction inspector. They put it on the dyno to verify the horsepower for the catalog. The engine spun to 6,000 RPM. The heat rose. The heavy steel of the crankshaft pulled against the cheap hardware. The connecting rod bolt sheared. The cap flew off. The piston, now loose, slammed into the open valves at 6,000 times a minute. The $5 million engine exploded from the inside out. The lawsuit was instant. Marcus arrived at the shop the next day. He wasn't the lover. He wasn't the friend. He was the bank. You destroyed the asset, Marcus said. It's our shop, Linda said. She looked old. The Botox couldn't hide the fear in her eyes. We're partners. No, Marcus said. I own the debt. You own the liability. I'm taking the land. I'm selling it to a warehouse developer. But we're family, Linda whispered. Marcus laughed. I have a family, Linda. Chloe is pregnant. I need to focus on my real future. You have 30 days to get out. 7 years since the inciting incident. The setting was the 18th fairway at Pebble Beach. The lawn was green. The ocean was gray. Art Vance stood next to a 1937 Delahaye. He wore a tuxedo. He looked fit, calm, and wealthy. Not flashy wealthy, quiet wealthy. Ben stood next to him, laughing with a client. They had one best in show. Art saw them crossing the lawn. They looked like refugees in expensive clothes. Linda's dress was 7 years old. She looked brittle, thin. Kyle looked gray, his suit rumpled, his eyes darting around like a trapped animal. And Sarah. She was 23 now. She walked behind him. She looked lost. She had the heavy credit card in her purse, but she had no one to talk to. She looked at Ben, her brother, laughing and shaking hands. She realized she didn't know him anymore. They stopped at the velvet rope. They couldn't get in. Art excused himself. He walked over. Ben followed. Hello, Art, Linda said. Her voice shook. She reached out a hand, her fingers trembling. Linda, Art said. He didn't take the hand. You won, she said. We saw it. Kyle stepped forward. He smelled of sweat and fear. Dad, look. Marcus took everything. The lawsuit wiped us out. The house is gone. The shop is bulldozed. We're in a rental. I heard, Art said. I still have the equipment, Kyle said, his voice high and desperate. It's in storage. If we pool resources, you have the name. I can manage the books. We can be a family business again. Sarah stepped up. Tears ran down her face. Dad, I miss you. She's not there. Kyle is always angry. I'm all alone. I want to come home. I want it to be like before. Art looked at his daughter. He remembered the child support checks. He remembered her walking past him in the mall, pretending not to see him because she was with her friends and he was in dirty work clothes. Linda cried openly now. Please, Art. Marcus left me for a child. He threw me away like trash. I made a mistake. I was lonely. I was stupid. But we were family. Doesn't that mean anything? Art looked at the three of them. He saw the woman who traded him for a boat ride. He saw the son who cooked the books to steal his life. He saw the daughter who took his money and gave him silence. He waited for the anger, but there was no anger. Just a vast, cool distance. Like looking at strangers. I forgive you, Art said. Linda sobbed with relief. She stepped forward to hug him. Art took a step back. I forgive you, Art said, his voice steady. Because holding on to the hate was making me heavy. I put down years ago. So we can come back? Sarah asked. No. The word hung in the air. Forgiveness is for me, Art said. It allows me to sleep. But trust is for you. And you broke it. He looked at Kyle. You stole from me. He looked at Sarah. You ignored me when I was down. He looked at Linda. You bet on another man. You lost. That is not my debt to pay. We have nowhere to go, Linda whispered. You have each other, Art said. That is what you wanted. You wanted the money and the house without the work. Now you have the consequences without the safety net. He put a hand on Ben's shoulder. Ben looked at his mother and siblings. He didn't smirk. He didn't gloat. He just looked at them like they were customers who couldn't afford the bill. This is my family, Art said, nodding at Ben. We have work to do. Art turned around. He and Ben walked back across the grass, toward the winning car, toward the champagne and the ocean. They didn't look back. Linda, Kyle, and Sarah stood at the rope. The fog rolled in off the Pacific, cold and wet, and for the first time in 7 years, they realized just how freezing it was outside the garage.